So today we're going to talk about best management practices. We've been talking about environmental sciences. Best management practices are what agriculturalists can do to protect the environment. Okay? We're going to do a series of problems and solutions today. So I'm going to borrow each John's worksheet, that way I can see it. So everyone should have just received this worksheet. I'm going to show you 3 different demonstrations. I'm not going to say anything about them. I have no opinions. I voice no words. I am just the maker of these creations. Okay? You, as an individual, are going to identify what the problem is with what's happening. Okay? And I'll have a photo of it happening in real life on the board if my demonstration is janky and doesn't make any sense. Okay? So identify what the problem is. And then in your individual brain, not talking to anyone else, create a solution. Then I'm going to give you some time to make a solution with the group, and we'll talk about it. We're going to do this 3 times. Does that make sense? Okay. So, let's start with our first one. If you can't see it, you can move yourself. I'll pivot it kind of this way. This is the world. Okay? On a scale, you are the size of this finger. Okay? This is also a farm. Bear with me. So this is a farm. Next to the farm, there's a little pond. Wow. Good, clean water, right? On our farm, we do lots of things. We have animals. The wind blows. There's fertilizer. There's pesticides. Okay. What's the problem? Don't tell me. Write it down. Thank you, Hampton. Okay. And this is where, David, it's your special job. And I just did it out of order, so click it twice. There we go. Okay, so this is my demonstration. Here's our example. What's the problem that we see here? As of right now, this is a preview. So we haven't learned about any type of best management practices yet. We don't know what the official solutions are, what the EPA would tell us to do. But I want you to use your simple thinking skills. Say, is this a problem? If so, what is it? And now move forward where it says your solution. What would you do to fix this? What would you change? What would make this work better? Okay, so we're taking time to write down our problem and our solution. Okay, so write down what we think the problem is and our solution. Let's take 1 more minute. I want each one of us to have our own solution. What do we think would solve this problem? At this point, discuss with your group. And as a group, combine all of your ideas of how you fix it. Or clarify what you think the problem is. Let's take 2 minutes, make a group solution.
I would use animal pesticides or use like another animal.
What were some other conditions? Okay, true. Let them know. Like animal waste? No, that's true. I guess you need to read it.
against solid.
Let's take 30 more seconds. Everyone should have a group solution on their paper. There we go. No. There. Alright, can I wipe step once? Twice. So, what was our problem? There's a couple of different problems. Addie.
When the wind blows, the pesticides from the ground get into the water.
Okay, so when the wind blows, the pesticides from the ground get to the water. Okay, what were some other problems, Ethan?
Pesticides in soil, the fertilizer could leach into the water table.
Okay, so it could leach into the water table, so the pesticide and fertilizer could leach. Is this a problem with spraying pesticides, or is it a problem with where the farm is?
Where the farm is mostly.
Ooh, I think that was split. Okay, it could be both, but those are both problems and both solutions that we could fix, right? So we said that there's an issue that is the farm too close or too far to water? Too close. Really, really, really close. When we see this, even if you're spraying organic stuff or normal stuff or whatever it might be, that's different stuff that's not going to the water, right? This makes it kind of unavoidable. I'm also very curious how they're turning their tractor if it's that close. Okay? So our problem is that our farm is too close to the water and we're spraying pesticides into the water. Okay? Or our fertilizer is running off into the water. What are some of our solutions? I want a solution per table. Okay, so we'll start with the cactus table.
You want the group solution?
Yeah, your group solution.
Don't use pesticides, use animal/water pesticides.
Okay, so finding ones that are water safe that would be okay to go into the water. I will say, if we're using animal waste as a fertilizer, that will still create a lot of nitrate and it's still going to leach into the water and it'll cause algae blooms. Okay, so it's a good solution, but I don't think it fixes it completely. Cat table, what do we get?
Fertilizer, use like solid fertilizers, and then for pesticides, like other forms like mechanical, like trap crops and stuff.
Yeah, so using trap crops, mechanical types of pesticide removal. That's definitely worse. But if we're on a farm that's big, you think you should take off all the bugs?
I mean, tired of people. But
That's true. You hire enough people, so just shovel up money, right?
But if it was
Right.
a farm like that small, like you showed,
That's true. I guess if this is just a little garden on this side, you definitely have the time. Timothy, what's up? Go. Carrot table, what was our first solution?
you said that like to manage your use and don't overdo it.
Okay, so don't overdo it. Make sure it's not going to be leaching. Maybe make sure to not have it rain right after you spray stuff, since it's less likely to go away. Okay, Dave, what do we get at our table? Okay, so don't use bad ones. Remember, this is a large operation. There's sometimes not an option. Where's my extra ones go? I don't know. Sophia, I'll find you one. Okay, and then at the bean table, what was our answer? What was our solution? Okay. Alrighty. So, overall, we saw that our problem, I'm going to get your worksheet. I'm not sure where they were. I don't remember. Okay. Overall, our problem was that it was right next to the water, and we're spraying stuff that is not good for the water. Our solution, I got it. Okay. Our solution was to not spray stuff into the water, or if we're using stuff and we're that close to the water, we have to make sure that it's fine. Okay. An example of this, so I worked at a farm in college, and right across the street was a lake. So we could not use a lot of things. We got bit by fire ants constantly, and we simply couldn't do anything about it. Because if we did, then it would hurt the fish, and it would hurt the alligators and the birds that live on that lake. Because anything that we used to kill the ants might have been too strong, and it could have hurt the birds, or it could have hurt the alligators. And then we just wore gloves, right? We could have put bug repellent on our own skin. That's very true. Good idea. Okay, so David, you're gonna go up. You're not gonna click the space bar. You're gonna click the arrow that goes back. Okay. So on the board is our real life example. I'm going to show you how that works in front of us. So, we're here. It's a beautiful plant. This is a jade pothos, and I have to water it. I have my beautiful aesthetic watering can. What's my problem? Write it on your paper. Think about it. Ethan knows this one. Write it down. Okay, your group's got an advantage now because Ethan knows it. Okay, what's my problem? Think about it.
That's the next part. This is the solution part.
Think about my goal. Think about what's happening.
Why is there a limit on because sometimes our
Alright, at this point, remember we're gonna work individually right now. Everybody stop one. Okay, so you've written your problem. Now you're going to write your own solution. I don't want this to be influenced by the people at your table. I want to collaborate after. But if this were you, what would you do? What would your solution be? Oh, this year? Yeah, but the weekend next week.
I know, but
I know. It's none of you are going to be there for like. It's the weekend. People are going to be leaving Thursday, Friday. They can get to people and like have that weekend. It's not Monday. What? Don't worry about that.
You're just on Monday?
At this point, collaborate with your group. You have 2 minutes to make a solution.
So I know this one. It's actually easier to
They're making it perfect.
yeah.
Alright.
30 more seconds for a group solution. It's not radically different.
I had to make it right. The solutions for both are different.
They could be. That's true.
I'm just used to that.
How are you today?
Oh, sorry.
Good. How are you today?
You can hear my voice up once. You can hear my voice up twice. Alright, what was our problem? Alex, what was our problem?
When you water, the water would bounce off the leaves and wouldn't get like to the roots and wouldn't need it to actually get water.
Yeah. So the roots are where we actually need to get water. And if I'm watering it from the top, as we saw back here, or as we can see in the photo up here, especially we're looking at a lot of leafy things. So this is like lettuce, probably spinach, this is potentially like an eggplant plant. It's hitting mostly the leaves. Okay, what time of day does this look like?
Like almost.
Like midday, noon, there's sunlight out. What does sunlight make water do? Evaporate.
No water.
So, I saw that a lot of people's problems were that it was overwatering. This could be true. This is also because I was just trying to be demonstrative. But, it's also true because your water is not going where it needs to go. So you are overwatering. You're putting too much water in the places that you don't need it, and you're actually losing yield because it's just evaporating. Okay, what were some of our solutions to hitting the leaves? Addie, what's your solution?
We said we could trim the leaves or have a water system that goes under the leaves.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone remember what the watering system is called that goes under the leaves?
I have no idea. Is it that hose thing that goes like along the ground?
What is that hose thing that goes along the ground? Drip irrigation. Okay, so this is one of your solutions. It is not the only solution. Does not have to be your solution. But one, especially looking at our real life example where this is more of a row farming using multiple plants. Obviously, I wouldn't use drip irrigation for our one plant that sits on our windowsill. It'd be a bit crazy. But if you would drip irrigation, so it would run almost like this hose is doing here. It'd be underneath the leaves. It waters straight onto the roots. Okay, this saves you money because you're not wasting water, and it saves water, which is good for conservation. Okay. So what were some other solutions though? So Adam said that we could trim the leaves, that way it's reaching it. So if we're thinking about, you're not going to implement drip irrigation on your landscapes, right? That would look crazy. But a lot of people's sprinklers go on top of their leaves. So maybe if you're having a tough time, you could trim the bushes or flowers that are on your landscape. Okay, what were some other solutions that we had at the cat table? At our cat table, what do we get? Ethan, what do we get?
So for that one, you could just like, push the leaves aside to make sure that the water gets in the soil.
Yeah, you push the leaves aside. Or I heard, we're all going to listen. Or I heard that we could have maybe a shorter nozzle, or a nozzle that goes straight to the roots that it can poke through, because that one is pretty wide. Okay, but we know that we have some in the back that are straightforward. Parent table, what do we get?
Pretty much the same thing. Just water comes to the source.
Yeah, get water straight to the source. Sun table, what do we get? Yeah, trim the leaves and water directly onto it. If you have the time to do that, if you're in maybe a smaller garden, you can just water directly. What do we get at the bean table? Yeah, don't use too much water, put it directly on the soil. Okay, and this can be helpful for at home if your SAE is a plant and you just go in and do what I just did. You're probably not getting a whole lot of water to your plant. All right, we are on to our third one, now that I've made a huge mess. Okay, so David, double click up there. Thank you so much. All right, now we're going to talk about poop. Okay, the last two examples that we've talked about are pertaining to vegetable farms. Now we're going to talk about an animal farm. Animals poop a lot. Here at Cameron's farm, this is your cup from last year when we did soils. Okay, at Cameron's farm, we had unicorns. They poop a lot. They poop purple poop. Okay, so this unicorn, it's pooped all over the place. There's so many unicorns here, they just go at it. And sometimes they even have a tough day. Eek. Sometimes they even have a tough day, and that's okay. Or sometimes it rains, and they poop. This is a gross unicorn. Cameron, you have to clean up your space. Because I'm looking at your farm, and when it rains, all that poop goes down. Is that clean water in the aquifer? No. Okay. I give no further opinions. Write down what our problem is. Yeah, we're going to test your ideas. And I love that I use fish food because it actually smells like poop now. I didn't think about.
Why do you do this instead?
That's not a good idea.
Alrighty, we're writing down our problem. What is our problem? Take 30 seconds. Think about what our issue is.
That's a solution.
Alright, now think of your solution. What could you do to solve this? Because animals poop. We have to figure out what to do with it. Poop time.
Yeah.
Quickly, you can do that. You can revise that once. You can revise that twice. Does everyone have an individual solution? Now you can move forward with your groups, collaborate, think about how you can fix this. Then what do you do? You just have a bunch of warehouses full of poop?
Yes, yeah, then we can play like
Okay.
like outside. Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not
I thought
30 more seconds for our group solution.
unicorns poop marshmallows.
Stored in the warehouse.
I thought that was
Yeah, I went to
the rainbows and the butterflies.
Then why do I have to get rid of the butterflies? Nobody else stopped. Because I went to a girl's for 7th birthday
15 more
party, and
seconds.
unicorn, like an applesauce was there.
Alright, you can hear my voice clap once. You can hear my voice clap twice. What's our problem? These are all hands I've seen. Hoppa, what's our problem? The poop's not being cleaned up. But what if it was? Because I don't think unicorns poop in giant piles like that. This is a whole collection of unicorn poop. Okay? So maybe it's not being cleaned up, but even if it was cleaned up, then what's our problem, Addie?
When it rains the poop seeps into the ground.
Yeah, but it rains the poop seeps into the ground. So even if we did collect it, imagine if you took all your dog poop and just put it in one giant pile in the backyard. That's still a problem, right? It still doesn't really work out. Okay, what are some of our solutions? Let's start with a different table. Alec, what's your solution?
We would make a giant litter box.
But what if they don't
Like somewhere for them to go, and then it'll be like covered so the rain doesn't get to it too.
So it should be covered.
Yeah. Also, couldn't you like put something in the soil that absorbs it? Like you know, like a litter box. Or like the crop-
Well, litter boxes absorb, but that's clay. And clay is also mined and harvested, which is kind of a problem as well. Okay. Okay, so we could cover it. If I cover it, would that fix it? I mean, it could fix it, yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't it?
What happened to the diagonal?
Right? Now it's fine. Would you cover it with just like a flat roof?
No.
Probably a peaked roof so it can run off, then we don't have this problem. Okay. So we could cover it. That's a great solution. Would you cover it with just a roof? What's some other things you'd cover it with?
But then, if you cover it, it won't get water from plants.
Well, that's okay. The poop isn't on the plants. It's just a pile of poop. It's okay if the ground doesn't get water. It'll live. Okay, maybe a poop shed. Okay, you can collect and make a poop shed. But what do you do when your poop shed's full? We've covered this poop with a roof. Then what do we do with it?
Use it when it don't rain. Compost it.
Okay, you could compost it, absolutely. Okay, that works. And you can compost it and sell it, and then you're making money. Okay, that's a byproduct. Were there any other solutions?
Make more sheds.
Make more sheds, just have a bunch of poop, and Sean said to put the people that we don't like into the poop sheds. Okay, sun table, what was our group solution? Pick up after yourself. But then what if you already did that? Because now you have a pile of poop. Compost your poop shed? Alrighty, so let me get your attention, because this is important. So these are all problems that we face. This is what happens at animal farms. And it used to be that you just leave the poop out. And then the EPA said, you have poop everywhere, and it's destroying our soil, and it's getting gross, and it's going into the water, too. So I saw that over the sun table, at the sun table, we wrote down that that was soil pollution, but it was also what type of pollution, Tyler? Aquifer, or water pollution. If this goes all the way down, that's our drinking water. And we know that our soil can clean a lot of that out, but we know that a lot of things can also get through as well. Okay, so this is a problem that we face all the time. So we need to find solutions. When we think about our plants, is this a problem for just farmers?
No.
No. Who else does this affect?
Miss Jenkins?
Does Miss Jenkins have plants?
She has a whole level.
Okay, so this affects Miss Jenkins. Does this affect you?
Yeah.
Yes. Does anyone have plants in here that they water? There we go. So that affects you as well. Okay. And while I know most of you don't own farms by rivers or lakes that you are constantly spraying stuff on, but it's also important to consider that when we have problems in agriculture, or problems in the environment, or problems in your life, we have solutions. And for us, or for this lesson, it's called Best Management Practices. Okay, so when we talked about integrated pest management, I know we brought up mechanical pest removal and we brought up trap crops. BMP was that big acronym that was in the middle. It's a best management practice. It's using all of these different things to make things better, to make it better for the environment, which are things that we can practice all the time. Okay, so we're going to move forward. We're going to look at a couple of examples today. We're going to finish looking at examples tomorrow. And then Friday we do a Thanksgiving activity because a lot of you won't be here, and I don't want you to lose points for like not being here. The week that we come back is our test week, so just keep that in mind. It'll be that Thursday. But we're going to finish covering best management practices, and then we're going to talk about aquifers.
Sounds good.
Thanks.